Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in all things crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie,
Hello.
how's it going?
Oh, it's going. Busy day. I saw a meme that I thought you guys would appreciate. So I
Ah,
had to download it and I'll show it to you here.
oh,
This is some dark true crime humor. It's a picture of Lizzie Borden. I saw this on Facebook to put that in perspective. It says, "Please do not accept friend requests from my parents. They have been hacked."
oh my God,
That is not funny. Yes, it is.
it is pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know who made this, but good for you.
You're a sick person.
I did also want
That
to
is
share
very
that
funny.
we do have our selection for the watch party for December, which is tomorrow night. Of course, it's
Mhm.
directly after the regular show. The show is at 6. Watch party will be at 7:15 Mountain Time. We are watching Crime Scene, The Times Square Killer, Episode 1, Murder on 42nd Street.
All right.
So that'll be that was it's a little bit older documentary, so you may have seen it, you may not have, but I thought it was really, really well done and interesting. So
Yeah,
that's what we're watching.
that should be very interesting. Kind of cool to go back and see some of the older, really famous cases. This one is a really famous one.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll remind you again tomorrow night of what we're watching, but just so you know, that's what it is.
Hmm. Very cool. Well, thank you.
Yep.
Well, we have a lot of true crime to get to, as we are known to do. And I know, Katie, you have got a little bit of WTF news to kick us off.
Hmm.
And if I, oh, there it is.
Imagine being 12 and being bullied at school and being not believed, not protected,
Mm,
not being taken care of by the school. And your parents have been back to the school a million times over it, and it just doesn't get any better. Well, this is what happened in South Carolina. This happened to Kalea Turner when Kalea
mm,
was 12. Actually, before she was 12, when she was more like 11, 10 or 11, the bullying really started. And some of it was race based. She's a black girl. Some of it was allowed by teachers. A lot of
mm,
things happened to Kalea. I want to show you a picture of her. Her parents
mm.
said it
Pretty
really
girl.
started when she started wearing her natural hair to school.
Ugh,
And she was being
God damn
called
it.
a man because that's become quite the insult these days, thanks to all of the transphobic nonsense that's been going on the last few years. Is that we
Right.
attack girls that don't look exactly who we think they should look like and accuse them of being a man. That was happening to this little girl. She was being called a roach. There was an instance in a classroom
Roach?
where other kids were calling her a roach, and one of them yelled, "Where's the roach?" And the teacher in the classroom pointed to Kalea.
What?
There was
Oh
another
my
incident
God.
where kids were playing a video on one of their phones that's a song called the Black People Song that is just full of
Mm,
racist stereotypes and just
ugh,
bullshit. Uh, and taunting her and playing the song in class, and a teacher just completely allowed it. Didn't make them stop, didn't turn it off, didn't say
they
anything.
should all be fired immediately.
Just let it go. Another incident where she finally fought back because she was tired of being bullied every damn day, and she
Yeah.
got suspended for a few days. Did the
Oh my
other
God,
kid?
of course.
No, they did not.
What the hell is up with this school?
An instance during gym class of her school clothes being doused with water and thrown in the garbage can.
Oh.
And the list goes on and on and on. And her parents were at their absolute wits' end. Well, unfortunately, so was Clea. And she hung herself in her bedroom.
Oh,
And when her parents found her, she was cool to the touch. She was not breathing. They believe she was clinically dead for 8 minutes before
oh no.
rescuers and her parents were able to revive her. She was in the ICU for many weeks and
Mm.
she lived, but she is in a wheelchair. She is unable to speak. She's unable to feed herself. She has
Oh
severe brain damage
no.
from what happened.
Oh, that's devastating.
While she was in the hospital, some little shithills decided to come visit her friend and took pictures of her little intubated body fighting for life
Oh,
and spread them on the internet with the other bullies making fun of her.
oh my God. What the fuck is wrong with these kids?
And her parents are now saying enough is enough. They've had it. And they have
Yeah.
filed suit against the district and against a few teachers specifically who are named because they are some of the ones who allowed her to be bullied in their classroom. The teacher who pointed at her and pointed out the roach, the
Oh my
teacher who
God.
allowed the video, and others. And yeah, they're suing because they can't get any other kind of comeuppance here from a school district and a specific school who did absolutely nothing while this little girl was bullied to death.
My God. The fuck is wrong with these people? And what is wrong with the parents of these kids?
This is in Greenville County schools. What
Mm.
is wrong with these kids and what is wrong with their parents? Indeed.
That is absolutely disgusting.
This level of hate, of bullying, of complete lack of empathy or knowledge of right and wrong, yeah, that starts at home.
It's terrifying. It sure does.
Absolutely terrifying. So I wanted to share her story with you guys because, well, I thought you'd want to hear it. And because I believe that Clea's story deserves to be told.
Absolutely. My
We
God. And
have
now
to
she's
take.
survived in this brain damaged state. Oh,
Yeah,
that
she's
is so
completely unable
sad.
to function. Yep. Yep. And this is just her life now. Yep. I agree.
That's
There
so
needs to
sad.
be charges for kids. There needs to be some serious comeuppance here for everyone that was involved in bullying this kid,
Yeah,
without any question. And I'm sharing it here. It's not necessarily a true crime case, except for, isn't it?
sure it is. I mean,
Isn't it?
the courts, they've been finding ways to charge kids
Yeah.
in situations like this.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
honestly, I think we need to see more of it because
Agree.
apparently no one else is going to do anything about it. Like, my
Yeah.
God, where are these children's parents?
Yeah.
And adults at the school participating?
Hmm.
Fucking disgusting.
Absolutely terrible. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I have to figure that none of these kids' parents cared at all.
I
The
mean,
school didn't
they
do
continued it
anything.
beyond,
Yeah.
you know. Ugh,
Yeah. Right. Good question, Bethy. Who are they bullying now? Because they just moved on to a different victim.
right.
Of course they did. But the hubris of a child pretending to visit a friend in the hospital who's been through this, who then posted pictures on the internet and lies and rumors about her injuries and what happened to her.
To
Where
continue
does
the
a
bullying.
12-year-old get the balls to do that?
Right.
Where?
Also, the ride to the hospital
Yeah. Yeah.
and the phone to do the
Mm-hmm.
posting. There
Absolutely.
are parents behind this, obviously.
Absolutely. Yep. It is so sad and so scary that this kind of stuff is still happening and that we still have complicity from the schools, that we still have kids that think this stuff is okay. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. So, sharing it here
Clearly.
because I think we need to see it. Every so often, we come across another story of a kid that was literally bullied to death.
It's just
Now,
unfathomable.
Kalia lived, but her life is ruined. Her parents' lives are deeply affected. by all of
Yeah,
this, and it will be forever.
yeah. There's no coming back from that.
No, no, there's not.
Christie says
Yep.
Greenville County is among the whitest and most Republican in this state. People of color live parallel lives at risk, especially in public schools. There are also a lot of charter Christian schools,
Hmm.
which we know these days is code
Yep. Well, it sure
or
seems like that school
racist,
has a serious racism issue. And
right?
this child was just subjected to that. And it's easy to say, well, you should pull him out and put him in a different school. Well, that might not be an option. Not everyone can afford to do that. Not everyone has rides to get kids to another school. And not every other school is a good environment for them either.
Right. Not to mention the fact that why does the victim have to leave?
Yeah,
Why does the
yeah,
victim have to leave?
yep.
Where is the administration at this school? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad that the parents are suing because
Well,
it
hopefully in
seems
the
to be the only
unemployment line
way.
soon. Yeah,
I
yep.
hope so because that's where they deserve to be, running a school
Look,
that tolerates this kind of shit.
I'm not one to demonize teachers. Our mom was a teacher. My degree is in education. But that's the whole reason I'm this mad because they know better. They know
Right.
better and they chose not to do better.
Yep.
Period. And they
That's
are
a pretty
named
conscious
in the
choice.
lawsuit. I didn't name them here on the show because this is an ongoing thing and we don't want to get sued either. But I will put a link in the article, however, so that you can go and read the article and you can learn who these teachers are that are being named. But this is the kind of stuff that we absolutely have to, have to pay attention to. So,
Yeah,
all the love to
most
her
definitely.
family. I certainly
Yes.
hope that you get somewhere with your lawsuit. I hope you can get some traction
Absolutely.
and at
Oh,
least
so
some
sorry.
awareness. And also,
Absolutely.
I really hope the other kids in that school that are potentially targets of these children are safe because I can't even imagine.
Right. What is this school doing to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Right. And why would we assume that anybody else that is a potential target of bullying would be safe considering?
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Melissa says also the redlining in schools, right? If you live
Yes.
in a good neighborhood, you get better care than a low income school, and they didn't let you in unless you live in the neighborhood, right? I
Yeah.
mean, now, doesn't mean it's always the option, but also, why does the victim have to leave?
Yeah.
Why? We
Yeah.
got to look at this from the standpoint of Giselle Pellico.
Mhm.
The victim has nothing to be ashamed of. They don't have to be the one to leave. It is
Yep.
the aggressors that should be
Yep.
the ones with consequences. I'm so tired of living in a world that thinks
Mhm.
that victims
Yep.
are at fault and that
Yep.
victims should be the ones that have to change things in order to protect themselves rather than living in a society that takes accountability from the aggressor.
Absolutely.
This is a great example of
Absolutely.
that.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
Oh,
Indeed. Yep.
damn, that's so sad.
Very sad story. Yep. It is a public school, Christine. Yes. Yep. So I don't know if we'll ever hear the outcome of their I keep saying website lawsuit or not. I hope we do, and I hope they gain some traction and just shake things
Hmm.
up hard in that county because that needs to
Right?
happen right away.
That county should be shaken up.
Hmm.
Like, are they not terrified of this happening to more children?
They should be. They should be.
Right?
Yeah.
I, I, God damn it.
This reminds me a lot of that case where the kid was rolled up in a wrestling mat
Yes.
and disappeared.
Yeah.
I, I mean, it's a totally different situation, but it was still a situation that involved bullying, involved racism, and
Yes.
involved the school doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yep.
that poor kid died.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an awful story.
That is a really terrible story. Yep. I
Damn it.
think so, Amanda. I'd have to look it up. Yeah. Anyway, terrible. So we'll send all of our love her family's way and hope for something better. So, Christy, with that, I'm going
Absolutely.
to kick it over to you for some serial killer news, I believe.
Yeah. Well, friends, Rex Heuermann, the Gilgo Beach serial killer, is back in the news. Here's this disgusting pile of rot, Rex Heuermann.
Mm-hmm.
He has now been charged with his seventh victim, Valerie Mack. And this has been coming for a little while. This is the case where the way that they connected it to Heuermann is that one of the hairs found on the remains of Valerie Mack actually belonged to Rex Heuermann's daughter, who would have been 3 or 4 at the time that Valerie Mack was murdered. Excuse me. Secondary transfer is really kicking Rex Heuermann's ass because there's
Mm-hmm.
been a hair that was his wife's,
His wife's now, his
and now
daughter's.
there's one of his daughters. So this is Valerie Mack. He has now been charged with the second-degree murder of Valerie and continues to have the gall to plead not guilty.
Yeah, of course he
I
does.
mean, come on, dude. I mean, there's so much evidence against him. It's just disgusting. So Valerie Mack's remains were first found on Long Island in 2000. She was killed in 2000. She was 24 at the time. She was a mother, and she had been working as an escort in Philadelphia and was last seen by her family that year in New Jersey.
Okay.
If you remember, as with more a couple of different human victims, her remains were not all in the same place.
Yeah.
So her skeletal remains were initially discovered in Manorville, New York, about 50 miles west in Gilgo Beach, is where the rest of her body was found 10 years after the first remains were found. They were unidentified until genetic testing identified her in 2020. And there was human hair found with her remains. When sent for testing, they found it to be a match with the genetic profile of Heuermann's daughter. Can you imagine being Rex Heuermann's daughter
No.
and knowing when you were a toddler that a hair transferred to your dad and from your dad to a woman that he murdered, and
Yep.
that's how now they are connecting him to her death?
That's honestly so
I the
horrific.
honestly the trauma for Heuermann's kids is something that I cannot even fathom what it must
Oh,
feel like to be them.
immense. Yeah, immense.
They came out and made a statement recently just as a reminder that she was a child, that they were both children
Yeah.
when these murders were committed, and they had no affiliation with them. Because
Oh, right. Because people on the
people
internet
still
just,
keep going back at them, and
yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck? They were little kids when their dad did this shit.
right. Like,
Some of it happened before they were even born.
right. I remember a while back, people were going after her art, showing pictures of her art and trying to
Yes.
claim that somehow she had something to do with her, what her dad did when she was like a fucking toddler. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes me so mad. Leave those people alone. They have been through so much shit. They don't need any more. And
No.
so I just wanted to say that
But
because here
what
we have
horror for her.
this
Yeah.
connection again. Yeah.
Yeah. But let's be super clear. She was a little girl.
Yeah. She was a very young child. So his victims now are Sandra Castillo, who died in 1993, Valerie Mack in 2000, Jessica Taylor in 2003, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, 2007, Melissa Barthelemy, 2009, Megan Waterman, 2010, and Amber Lynn Costello, 2010. So I have pictures of all of them. So again, this is Valerie Mack. This is what's known as the Gilgo Four, which were kind of the first ones to be identified. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Barthelemy, Megan Waterman, and Amberlyn Costello. And then we have Jessica Taylor and Castillo. What was her last name? Uh, Sandra Castillo. All seven of these women.
Yeah.
And they're not done. I mean, as we know, There were 11 bodies found in that area at Gilgo Beach, where some or all of the remains of his victims have been found.
Hmm.
So they're just working through the genealogy and the DNA um, to continue to connect more of these murders to him.
Hmm.
Uh,
Where do you think it ends? I mean, there's seven.
right? I don't know.
And how many years will this go on where they keep
Right?
identifying another and another?
Right? Because I mean, they can't even try him yet because they genuinely they don't have them all yet. I'm quite sure.
Yeah, I think that's true.
So Valerie Mack's parents were there in court when he was charged. They didn't speak, but the relatives of other victims were there, gave them roses,
Oh.
um, and hugged them. And you know they're all being represented now by Gloria Allred.
Hmm.
And I love Gloria Allred. She's amazing. She said they were and they are loved and they are missed every day by those who knew them and who had a strong bond with them.
Yeah.
And it's good, I think, at least for Valerie Mack's family to have an answer.
Oh,
They now
definitely.
know,
Yeah.
her body has been identified.
Hmm.
They know, and they know who killed her.
Yeah.
And they can be included in this group of families, which I
Hmm.
think there's a lot of strength in that. You know,
Yes.
a lot of these folks have hung together for a long time,
Hmm.
given the situation that happened to their family members.
Hmm.
And so for that, I imagine there's at least a little bit of relief for the Valerie Mack's family.
Yeah.
Now,
Amongst the horror. Yeah.
Heuermann's, yeah, uh, Heuermann's lawyer, his name is Michael Brown, who probably should just not speak to the press. Seriously, like, what are you doing, buddy? He said, well, he disputed the evidence presented in Mack's death, saying that hair samples collected from Mack's body were recovered more than a year ago. Yeah, and and
Okay.
saying the DNA technology used to connect her and the other victims to Huberman have never been deemed reliable in a New York case. This is the genealogical DNA, which give me a fucking break, dude, is all over the country being uh, shown to be reliable.
Hmm. What
Um,
what's that song? Stop giving men microphones. Yeah,
yes,
this
that
is
is
one of those
we should.
moments.
This
Yes.
is definitely one of those moments.
That's
He
Sarah
also
Hester
said,
Ross, in case you're wondering.
yes, it is. I love Sarah Hester Ross so much. Um, he also argued that the prosecutor's office has yet to produce proof any victim's DNA was found in Heuermann's home, and they don't necessarily ever have to prove that. He says, this guy should definitely shut up. He said, there's something a little weird about these allegations, something that doesn't sit right. Oh,
Yeah,
is
I
that what it
agree.
is that doesn't sit right? Or is it
Hmm.
that you are representing a serial killer
Hmm.
who has now been connected to the deaths of 7 women
Yeah.
and more to come?
Yeah, bro, it doesn't sit right.
What the hell?
Murder never does. Jesus
No,
Christ, what a
never
thing to
does.
say.
I know. I was like, oh, you should shut up.
Hmm.
Definitely. Um, and then, of course, because everyone's got to hear from Asa Ellerup too, who is Heuermann's wife or estranged wife.
Yeah.
Why not ex? I don't know. Uh, her attorney said that she will withhold judgment until trial. I'm like, really, Asa Ellerup? Really? This is the stance you want to take?
Mm,
Uh,
Jesus.
he also says, her attorney also says, the only information Ms. Ellerup has of these alleged crimes is what has been reported in the media and has maintained the position that she does not believe Rex was capable of committing the crimes he's accused of. My God, woman, wake the fuck up.
Your baby
Why?
girl's hair was on that victim.
Right. Your little tiny girl. Your own hair was on another
Yeah.
victim. How
Yeah.
are you not screaming from the rooftops for his head? And why are you still married to him? What the fuck, lady?
Mm,
Ugh.
Jesus. Yeah.
Jess says, I will defend the wife in that look at Richard Allen's situation. Agreed,
I'll
agreed.
give you that.
However, If the DNA of my own head was on a victim of someone murdered that my husband is suspected of killing, and the DNA of my little tiny child, I think I would be walking back, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
At least I think my attorney wouldn't be making a public statement.
Right?
Like
And
why?
people, and there's a lot of pressure for there to be a public statement, which is why
Yeah.
she has an attorney and all that. And I get that, I
Mm-hmm.
do. But like, lady, what's
Ugh.
it gonna take? What's it gonna take?
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah. Tom says I heard Rex's house is for sale now. Oh my God. Really? Oh.
Yikes.
If you'll recall, when they searched that house, they took 350 electronic devices. That's not sus at all. Like, why were there so many? That's insane. Um, let's
Jesus.
see.
I'm just still so rocked about the hair from his child.
I know it's hideous.
That really
But the
hurts my
other thing that
stomach.
they found
Yeah.
was tons and tons of like horrific torture porn, if you'll recall.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Mm.
boy.
The attorney for the children, of course, reminded everyone that they were just children when this occurred.
Yeah.
Their attorney says they remain, now they have a different attorney from their mother, which I think is interesting.
Hmm.
They remain steadfast in observing the legal process play itself out, no matter how long it takes or how difficult it is. Now,
Yeah.
see, that's a lot better statement
Yeah.
than Asa Ellerup maintaining that she doesn't think Rex could have done any of this. Are you kidding me?
Right. Jess said I would at least be silent, but she's also facing a lot of pressure. And
She is, but like a really pat statement like that from the kids, that makes way more sense to me
yeah, then a
than
defensive statement. Yeah.
than a defensive statement. Like,
But that's
what
a
are
good
you
point
doing?
too. Said she probably took the advice of counsel because any statement made can be used against her in divorce or his criminal case, and that's true too.
True.
Yeah,
And there was some fear for a little while there because they found her hair
on
on
the
one of the
victim.
victims.
Yeah.
They were able to confirm that she was literally in another country
Hmm.
visiting family when
Yeah.
that person was killed.
Yeah.
But,
And she's
his.
certainly in a no-win situation. But holy
Oh, she
crap,
is. She is. It
awful.
just grosses me out for her to say things like, she doesn't think he
Hmm.
could have done this. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
I'm grossed out totally.
And that's true,
But,
Melissa. He probably abused his wife. I mean, it's hard to
oh, I'm
imagine that he
sure.
didn't. You
She
know.
looks, there's a real demeanor about her that indicates
Hmm.
battered wife to me.
Yeah.
But this is her great opportunity to get the hell away from him forever.
Hmm.
I don't know. I struggle with it.
Yeah.
So there's still um there's still so much more investigating going on. If you remember, in June, prosecutors said that in part of the search of the house, they recovered a file on a hard drive
Hmm.
in his basement that was a blueprint of his killings. It was checklists with tasks to do before, during, and after, as well
Hmm.
as lessons for next time, mistakes that
Yeah.
he feels he may have made. Um, that document was created the same year Valerie Mack died,
Oh
and there are
wow.
details in it that align with her case.
Wow.
It names Mill Road, and that
Yeah.
is the road near where her first remains were found. There's there's a title called DS that investigators believe stands for dump site. Um,
Mm.
the document also listed foam drain cleaner under supplies, and prosecutors say that on October 3rd, 2000, Heuermann's phone records appear to show him making two calls to a Long Island plumbing company, and he had paid another company the following month to check his main line drain. So there have been concerns that when his family was out of town, he was murdering and dismembering women in their home and then running things down the drain,
My God. God, that's a horrific thought. Because
right?
she and the kids traveled quite a bit.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They traveled quite a bit. They seem to have somewhat separate lives, although we know now that there was a time in which they were swingers and there was some stuff that Asa Ellerup
Yeah.
was a part of.
Hmm.
Not saying that it had anything to do with the murders themselves, but there were
Right, but
some uncomfortable truths there, I think.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Also, some of the
Yeah.
things that they found in the house are magazine articles and newspapers with articles about the Gilgo Beach killings. Um, there was a July 29th, 2003 copy of the New York Post that included an article about the investigation into Mack and Taylor's remains. He was
Wow.
keeping the articles.
Yeah.
They still believe that he did commit the killings at the home
Hmm.
when his family was out of town. They haven't figured out yet where his family was when Valerie Mack died, but I don't think they have an exact date on her death quite yet.
Hmm.
But I know for a lot of the others, they can actually pinpoint the family was gone from here to here, and this is
Yeah.
when this person went missing.
Hmm.
Yes, yeah, Asa is an American, but she has family in Iceland that she visits, right? And
Yeah.
so she would go out of town and take the kids, and
Hmm.
then he would just get a hold of a vulnerable woman and murder her and dismember her in their house. It's
Jesus.
hideous.
Yeah. Right, Jess, I was
So,
thinking that too. He had to do a lot of cleanup regularly. Surely they can find some receipts, right? Kind of like the drain thing. Yeah.
right, and they probably have more. This is just a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so there are other names on the list that have not been linked to him yet. One of them being Karen Vergata. Her body was first discovered on Fire Island in 1996,
Hmm.
and then more of her bones were discovered in 2011 near Gilgo Beach. She
Hmm.
wasn't identified until 2022 um, with new better DNA analysis. So
Wow.
there's still there's still more coming. We also know that
Yeah.
one of the unidentified victims, whose remains were found in Gilgo Beach,
Hmm.
um, are male, but they believe that they believe that that person was female presenting. Because there's always been this question of why
Oh.
was there a male body in with the females who are obviously
Right.
being dumped.
Hmm.
They think now that uh, uh, male person who is of Asian descent
Hmm.
is still unidentified, but they do have reason to
Hmm.
believe now that they may have been female presenting.
Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, well, that
Yeah,
would answer
which
that.
could answer why
Hmm.
that would be the case. Because if you remember, there was also the remains of a 2-year-old
That's
with
right.
those bodies.
Hmm.
So, or 2-ish-year-old.
Hmm.
So there's a lot more to be done. I mean, in the
Yeah.
meantime, Rex Heuermann is sitting in jail with no bond, thank God. And they're just, I think, methodically going to continue working through all of the testing, all of the evidence they found from the house until they can charge him with everything they can before they ever even put him on trial. This could go for years. It's already been going well over a
Wow.
year. It was 2023
Hmm.
when they initially arrested him.
Yeah.
And if you remember, it was kind of a Brian Koberger situation. They saw him throw a pizza away in the trash outside of his
Hmm.
office. He was an architect. And they took the pizza box and they tested it, and his DNA matched some
Yep.
of these murders.
Yep. Wowza.
Yeah.
Jeez. This is such a big case in that area that so many people have
Oh my
been
God.
waiting and that were, their area was terrorized by these bodies for so long.
Well, yeah, I mean, most of them were found in 2011,
Yeah.
and there wasn't an arrest until 2023.
Yeah. Hmm.
And there's
And
a whole lot of history behind that, why it took so
yeah,
long, too.
for sure.
Quite a bit of malfeasance on the part of some police
Oh
chiefs
yeah.
and stuff.
A
There's a
bunch of
lot of
drama
bad
there.
shit, but now
Yeah.
that they've got him, They're just grinding through the evidence. And, we know
Yeah.
DNA, in this kind of like genealogical DNA, this takes long periods of time.
Yeah.
So it's a slow process, but
Yeah. But then there's the other long-standing question that I've had: is this the whole MO? It was all done
right,
here because
right,
they own other properties, and he was well
right.
known to be in Vegas quite a bit. And like, is this it?
Yeah.
Or
Well, and that is part of their investigation,
yeah,
is that they have been, obviously his DNA is in the system now, and
hmm
there are investigations going on in other parts of the country where he could have been, because it might not be that these are the only ones,
yeah,
which is a hideous thought.
yeah,
But I'm very curious if they're eventually going to be able to link all 11
hmm
of these deaths to him. Right, Christine.
hmm
No murders after 2011?
right,
Or did he move his dump site?
right,
And we don't know where the
or
other
his
bodies are.
whole
I
murder
don't know.
site. Yeah, because when
Yeah,
did he
Chris,
just stop?
he didn't, but when those bodies were found in 2011, I bet that really rocked him
hmm
and probably slowed him down for a while.
Maybe
Because there
so.
were two murders in 2010, and the bodies were found in 2011. So he probably laid low for a while because that was really the first, you know, opportunity to catch him.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, so he's switched it up somehow, probably. Do we know when they bought that house? They'd had it for quite a long time, like 20 years or something.
hmm
I'd have to look it up to see for sure, but it's quite a while.
Yeah, the other house is in South Carolina, right? The one that's near his brother.
Yeah, yeah. There's that one, and then he spent quite a bit of time in Las Vegas too. That's the one that worries
Yeah.
me, is Vegas.
Me too.
Um, I think if we had any idea how many bodies there are out on the Nevada desert, I it would be shocking
hmm
to know.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah, they are looking for other women in other states who are missing to try to make some connections.
hmm
But yeah, someone like Rex Heuermann doesn't just stop.
No. Yeah.
Just bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, that's the update for now. Hopefully, we'll just continue to see more identifications made and more connections made for the sake of the families of these folks, particularly, to at least know what happened
hmm
to their family member. It's
Yeah.
going to take a long time for him to get through the system,
Yeah.
but at
And
least some.
on the house,
Ooh,
Kathy, you're correct. That is a family home that he inherited. So he's actually lived in that house pretty much his whole life.
okay,
Yeah, but for about the last 30 years, he's lived there with his wife and kids. Yeah.
sure. Well, I know at one point they were taking walls down in that house
Yeah.
when they were doing the search. There was
Yeah.
concerns that things might be in the walls. Like, oh my God.
Yep.
I'm sure we don't know anything close to what law enforcement and the FBI know
I'm
as
sure.
far as
Yeah.
what they have. They're just one case at a time,
Yep.
working their way through this.
Yeah, just
So
chipping away.
we will keep you updated. We will
hmm
let you know when more stuff comes forward.
hmm
And I really just Michael Brown, if you're listening, stop talking, man. Just
Mm.
shut up. Don't talk to the media. You sound awful, awful
hmm
saying shit like that. Anyway,
Indeed.
he's not listening. He doesn't care.
No,
Uh,
no, I think
and
that's
with
clear.
that, Katie, I know you have some creepy crime for us.
Yeah. Maybe it's not creepy. Maybe it should have been weird crime time. Uh,
Mm,
I read a story, thought it was wild, thought it needed a song. I wrote it a song. As I was listening to the song, I realized that Kristi already did this story a couple months ago, but without a song. So now we have a song. So
awesome.
sometimes true crime apparently bleeds together. But
It does.
you have heard this song before, or this story before, not the song. That's going to be brand new. This It happened back in October in England. This was a cheese heist. So this was at Neil's Yard Dairy, a con artist posing as a wholesale distributor for a major French retailer, made off with nearly £50,000 of award-winning cheddar. $390,000 worth of cheese.
Oh my God.
It was nearly 1,000 wheels of cloth wrapped cheese. Uh, Half Welsh organic cheddar, Westcombe cheddar, and Pitchfork cheddar. Yeah. So to put that into
I'm a cheddar
perspective,
fan.
yeah,
That
uh,
sucks, man.
yeah, a wedge of that cheddar that's 9 ounces sells for $16.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. This was all cheddar that was aged from 12 to 18 months, and that was a huge deal. And as far as I can find, they've not found the cheddar thief or the cheddar. But I thought this needed a song because, as all creepy and hilarious and weird food crimes do, well, they usually require a song.
I mean, why not?
Right. So here we go.
Well, gather round. I've got a tale of a heist so sharp it'll make you wail. Some sneaky thieves with a cheesy dream made off with cheddar like a dairy king and queen. Oh, they stole the cheese. They ran with these. 48,000 pounds. What a dairy tease. Cheddar gone without a trace. Now Scotland Yard's on the cheese chase. The Hoffod, the Pitchfork, the Westcombe too, aged to perfection, all creamy and true. They posed as sellers, oh so sly, said bonjour, then vanished like a cheese supply guy. Oh, they stole the cheese. They ran with these. 48,000 pounds, what a dairy tease. Wheels of cheddar gone without a trace. Now Scotland Yard's on the cheese chase. Now detectives are sniffing with a cheese sommelier, searching for blocks from London to Marseille. If you see a cheddar wheel that looks too good, it's probably stolen, so call the cheese neighborhood. The cheesemongers cried, oh, what a shame, for cheese that's been aged deserves better fame. Tom Calver said it's 18 months' work, and those thieves, well, they're lactose intolerant jerks. Oh, they stole the cheese. They ran with these. 48,000 pounds, what a dairy tease. Wheels of cheddar gone without a trace. Now Scotland Yard's on the cheese chase. So raise your wedges and pour some wine, for cheddar so fine it's practically divine. And if thieves come near, you'd better beware, 'cause stealing cheese, that's utterly unfair. So raise your wedges and pour some wine, for cheddar so fine it's practically divine. And if thieves come near, you'd better beware, 'cause stealing cheese, that's utterly unfair.
Lactose
Well, that was very
intolerant
punny.
jerks.
Yes. That was very, very punny.
Oh, that kills me. Bob and Chandra at about the same time said that this sounds like a plot for a Wallace and Gromit movie.
It really kind of does, yes.
Yeah. So, all our best to the cheesemongers. That actually really super sucks, but that's one of those crimes that makes us, I don't know, feel like writing a song.
Well, it also just makes you wonder, like, what the hell are they going to do with that much cheese?
Sell it.
Sell it, but Jesus, you got to have like a. It's kept in very specific
Did you just say
environment and
cheeses?
stuff. Yeah, I did Jesus. Yep.
Cheeses, yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Jesus. Yes, I did.
Well, that's what I got.
Well, that's pretty great. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, I aim to please.
Well, we will be back tomorrow, Wednesday night at 7 or 6 p.m. at Mountain, and it is December 18th, which is the watch party.
Hmm.
So, we will be watching. What are we watching?
Let me pull up the.
Where's the thing? Oh, there it is. I'll let you do it.
Well, no, not that.
That's Rex Heuermann.
This crime scene: the Times Square Killer, Episode 1, Murder on 42nd Street. Of course, that is on
Oh,
Netflix. And again, remember with the watch party, we will open up a stream like this that you'll receive a link to in your email if you subscribe to the watch party over at Buy Me a Coffee. So you'll receive that link before the show starts. Before you know, we'll start at about 7:15 Mountain Time. You watch on your own device, and we chat together in the open chat room. So that's how that works.
yeah.
So you won't see it. This is what
Thank
you'll see
goodness.
on the screen. This right here. You'll never see
Yep.
us because we can't stream it because that would be illegal, of course. So you guys watch it, we watch it, and we all talk about it.
I'm excited. I'm always looking forward to the watch party. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the watch party is fun. It's kind of a
Hmm.
it's a different vibe, and it's nice to not be on the camera for a minute to just be able to snuggle
Right?
dogs and eat popcorn and just watch the show and chat along. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So join us for
Hmm.
that. We're on regular schedule for the rest of this week, and then we'll be probably on a modified schedule for the next two. But for this week, we'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday, and we'll be back on Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain.
Hmm.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave us a review wherever you are watching or listening to our content. It really does help us to grow. We appreciate it
Yeah.
so very much, and we appreciate all of you. If you would like to tip us, you can do that at truecrimesquad.com. You can,
Mm.
we've got Buy Me a Coffee over there. We've got Venmo and PayPal over there. It's always appreciated, never required, but we do appreciate it because we do put a lot of time into this. And we love y'all. And we want to keep doing what we're doing.
For sure. Absolutely.
And you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.